FM, your go-to station.
It's midday. Good afternoon. I am Olabisi Olani Oluwasegun with Global News. In the news, Nnpc welcomes Tinubu'S decision on fuel subsidy. US and Saudi Arabia support extension of ceasefire deal between military factions in Sudan. Russia accuses Ukraine of drone attack in Moscow.
This is the news.
Now the news in detail. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has welcomed the pronouncement of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the removal of fuel subsidy. On Monday, the president had declared an end to the era of subsidy payment, saying the 2023 budget made no provision for fuel subsidy, so further payment was no longer justifiable. The Group Chief Executive Officer of Nnpc, Mele, told newsmen that the move was in the best interest of the company. However, Kyari said there was no need for panic buying, as fuel queues had been noticed in some areas of the FCT. He noticed that the company had enough products to supply the country for the next 30 days, adding that it was monitoring its supply and distribution networks around the country. The leader of Ethiopia's former rebel group, Tigray People's Liberation Front, Debretsion Gebremichael, has called for the conduct of elections immediately in Tigray. He said the interim administration can only govern for 6 months in the year, in line with the Pretoria Peace Arrangement. Mr. Debretsion said the interim administration has to complete its task within that time and transfer whatever remained. He stressed that the people of Tigray have to be led by leaders of their own choice. There has been no comment yet from the interim administration on the comments by the TPLF chairman. The International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor has called for a new way to tackle war crimes in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Karim Khan, who is on a fact-finding mission in DR Congo, said there was a need for a stronger partnership among the people, local authorities, civil society, and global players to show a common will to put an end to crimes. During his visit, Mr. Khan met Nobel laureate Denis Mukwege, who has been helping sexual abuse victims amid the conflict in the country's eastern region. Eastern DR Congo has been plagued by violence for decades, with dozens of armed groups operating there. The United States and Saudi Arabia have welcomed the extension of a ceasefire deal between Sudan's warring military factions for another 5 days. Washington and Riyadh announced the latest deal, as well as brokering the previous week-long truce. In a joint statement, they acknowledged that the ceasefire had not been fully observed, but said it had allowed the delivery of 8 to 2 million people in Sudan. The World Food Programme said the relative lull in fighting had allowed it to send supplies to residents trapped in the capital Khartoum for the first time since fighting erupted 6 weeks ago. The Sudanese army and its rivals from the Rapid Support Forces have accused it repeated violations, particularly in the Darfur region. You're listening to Global News on 88.9 FM Akure, transmitting from Ilaramoki. After the break, Russia accuses Ukraine of drone attack in Moscow. Details of this and other stories in the second part of the bulletin. Please join us again.
At Wexford College, we promise you a new and exciting journey to the top. Now feel the difference of
online platforms at Araba FM TV on YouTube, Araba 88.9 FM on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. With an audience of over 60,000 people across all our social media platforms and a reach of over 315,000 overall. Call these numbers today to push your market before that audience. Kadzim on 080 30414344 or Hazan on 080-650-77920 or Feyi on 0814-138-8719 or Temi on 080-66766-944. You can place your business and brand adverts on Adaba 88.9 FM online platforms at Adaba FM TV on YouTube, Adaba 88.9 FM on Facebook.
For news update and live streaming, visit our website www.adaba889.fm or download Adaba FM app on Google Play Store. You can be part of us on our social media platforms www.facebook.com/AdabaFM88.9 on Facebook, at Adaba889FM on Instagram and Twitter, and Adaba FM TV on YouTube. You can also provide us information via email, newsroom@adaba889.fm. Now to the rest of the news. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has visited Brazil for the first time since he was banned by former far-right President Jair Bolsonaro in 2019. Mr. Maduro was received by the new president, fellow leftist Luis Inácio Lula da Silva, ahead of a summit of Latin American leaders in Brasilia. Mr. Maduro talked of a new era in bilateral relations. He said Venezuela is open for Brazilian investors, stressing that the two countries must be united from now on and always. On his part, Lula said the region should tackle poverty. He said the visit is to criticize U.S. sanctions on Venezuela, saying a constructed narrative of authoritarianism was in place about Venezuela and that sanctions were unjustified. And now Russia has accused Ukraine of launching a series of early morning drone attacks on Moscow. The Russian Defense Ministry said that Kyiv had staged a terrorist attack using at least 8 drones. The capital city's mayor, Sergei Sobyanin, says no one was seriously injured. The Defense Ministry claims that all the drones were intercepted. There has been no comment from Kyiv. On Monday, the head of Ukraine's military intelligence, General Krylo Bodanov, warned of a swift response to a series of Russian missile strikes on Kyiv. An Australian man, Marcus McGowan, has escaped with his life after being attacked by a saltwater crocodile while snorkeling at an exclusive Queensland resort. McGowan has detailed how he managed to prise the predator's jaw off his head, suffering deep cuts. He was airlifted to a nearby island hospital and later flown to Cairns for further treatment. Reports say crocodile attacks are uncommon in Australia, but there have been several in recent months. Mr. McGowan said he was in the water with a group of people about 28 kilometers off Haggerston Island near Cape York when he was beaten from behind. And out sports, the Miami Heat has defeated the Boston Celtics in a remarkable fight back in the Eastern Conference Finals to clinch the deciding match 103-84 by advancing to the NBA Finals. Jimmy Butler scored 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists to help the Heat reach this year's final showpiece. The Heat will play the Denver Nuggets in the best-of-7 finals. Game 1 will be played in Denver on Thursday. Now to end global news, a recap of our top stories. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has welcomed the pronouncement of President Bola Tinubu on the removal of fuel subsidy. The United States and Saudi Arabia have welcomed the extension of a ceasefire deal between Sudan's warring military factions for another 5 days. We also told you that Russia has accused Ukraine of launching a series of early morning drone attacks on Moscow. And that's Global News. Thank you for joining us. It was edited by Olayin Kaujo. I'm Olabisi Olaniyi Oluwasegun. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.